But the thing is, if you're thinking about going into business, you really need to carry out your market research. Why do you have to do that? Well, it's so obvious. Well, neoclassical economists, they argue that any business person has a primary purpose of making a profit. That's the primary purpose. And for you to surmount that hurdle, you need to have a capital input. You need to raise monies, raise loan. So why would you raise loan and raise all this money into a business that is doomed to fail? You don't want to do that. So if you're thinking of going into business or you're in business, spend some time on market research, read books, do continuous professional education. If you're lawyers do that, accountants do that, CPD is called, isn't it? You have to do that. So if you're, and by the way, you mentioned there are three types of business: sole trader, partnership, and limited liability. Exactly. And in all of those capacities, you really have to carry out your market research for your own good because of the expenses. And also, if you get it wrong, you expose yourself to litigation. You know, so if you get it right, you have the benefit of profit. If you get it wrong, your company could close down, or you could expose yourself to litigation. So it's important that you get that right. And the numbers are there. It just shows that the numbers of ethnic minorities going into business is dropping by the day, which is quite.
Yeah, Mr. Sawyer.
Yeah, okay.
You're an accountant.
No, I work as a management consultant.
Okay,
I actually work with small business people.
That makes it
and I've done a lot of research
okay.
on blacks in business.
Good.
Over the years, from about 36 years ago from Manchester Business School, which was really what my thesis was on looking at support measures for black people in business and how they can be assisted to run a formal business.
Yeah.
And since then, I've done a series of research assignments, still looking at that ethnic market. I'm looking at it from 2 points. One point is, what are the drawbacks and what are the barriers? And the second point is, looking at the motivation and the success factors. Okay. So I'm not really just saying something that is not researched. Yeah. What I'm saying is about the normal work that I do is to look at the different stages and to dissect.
And that's why I wanted. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you this. It's important. What are the structures in place that a typical black business entrepreneur can access to grow? Because if he has done his research, okay, he has interest there, everything, but then he doesn't have the money. Does he have the money?
Okay. Well, in the past, finance was the biggest problem. In the past, let's say 20, 30 years ago, if you go to a bank to try and get money, you won't get money from that bank. Okay. I think that is changed. It's changed drastically because now we have financial intermediaries. Anybody who wants money knows where to go to. It may not have access to big money, but what is important in terms of business sometimes is the idea. Microsoft, the guy who set it up, didn't know anything about finance, accounting, or anything. All he needed was about coding. And the minute his idea was good, it meant that he could immediately assemble around him a proper group of professional managers who were competent to direct him the way. The people who set up Google, they were students. They weren't even thinking about money. They were doing it as a research project. So the area in which you go into business is also kind of very important.
These people you were mentioning had a platform to operate from. Yes. Can we say the same thing of a typical black entrepreneur? Does he have the same platform to just say, I'm straight from school and I have an idea about business and I think I should go to the bank and say, yes, I've got a business to go to? I mean, if you look at the Dragon's Den, to be honest, I mean, look at how much publicity it has been given. How many blacks have really seen that?
That's fundamental. Well, you're mentioning Dragon's Den as a source of funds.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a true position to take. But let me just come to your initial question, and we'll deal with Dragon's Den later on. Source of funds, I take issue with you. I don't quite agree. I know that if you have an idea and you go to the bank normally will drag their feet. It's unfortunate. I could argue that they deal with some communities different from other communities. I would argue that, and statistics show that. And that's why, if you're in a community where you have an uphill task, adequate preparation would propel you in front of these people. You see, to say that there's funds to run a business, I don't quite think that's the case, and that's why you have programs like Dragon's Den. If there's money, you wouldn't have Dragon's Den. So you need to have that, but there are other platforms. There is crowdfunding platform. There are all kind of platforms that could be used, and which I would explore if you want me to.
Okay.